So, welcome to Off Meta in Theory. We're basically theorycrafted build right here, right now, for a in practice game, hence the two series. We've done the first in theory, Karma Jungle. There's an in practice of that right now on the channel. This one is going to be slightly different in that this is now an in theory of something that I actually have played a lot recently. So, the idea is theory is going to be Riven support. Most people in playing Riven have seen a top lane, some have seen a mid lane, there's been an occasional jungle. Bot lane very rarely gets touched by Riven. And this is going to kind of change that because this is about support Riven, okay? So, most top lane Rivens are, at the moment go Conqueror. However, Conqueror doesn't offer as much at the moment. I feel support could deal with it. It still does decent damage, so it's great for that sort of thing, but I'm thinking more of a supportive style for Riven. So this whole tree here is pretty much unusable in that essence. Domination does have some that can be used. You've got the Electrocute, you've got the Dark Harvest for poke style. By poke I mean burst. And some really decent runes here that can support that sort of style. But again, squishy, you don't get much gold. Riven is all about items in that essence, so not great. Sorcery, no. I'll get onto that one in a minute. This tree, also decent. Glacial Augment, pretty decent. Auto, if you do your auto cancels correctly, great rune. Decent-ish. Quite a few Riven tops have been seen using this. Pretty good. Probably would be the one if you're going to support, but the keystone that I'm going to go is this one. Aftershock is a great keystone for Riven support. You've got so much stuns in your kit, you're so mobile with the stun as well. It feels like the best one. This mixed in really well with the next tree in that all three of these are pretty decent on Riven support. Demolish, if you were the push carry, great. Font of Life, great in team fights, heal your team. You've got a lot of impairment. It scales your max health, which Riven tends to get a bit of if you're going Bruiser build. Shield Bash, you tend to have a shield. You get armor and magic resist. If anything, I'm thinking that one. I was originally looking at Demolish, but I've just read, I forgot about the armor and magic resist. Really good. It scales the bonus health, and you shield them out. Adaptive damage. Whenever you gain a new shield, so every dash you have, boom. Next one, conditioning, second wind, bone plating. I'm thinking conditioning for this one. Decent rune, great scaling. These two are great in lane phase, so it ultimately depends on what you're against. I might go conditioning more. And the final one, you've got a choice of overgrowth or revitalize. And flinching is great if you need the tenacity or slow resist, but Riven's got dashes. Don't really need it. It's one of these two. You only really shield yourself. If you're going this, their revitalize is good, but I'm thinking overgrowth. So that leaves secondary. The secondary is a pretty free roam. Precision has Triumph, Coup de Grace, as well as Tenacity. Decent tree if you think you're going to get kills. Domination has things that help you heal if you need to. The dash is probably always going to be taken in this essence. You've got warding mechanics, or you've got bounty hunter stacks. Probably these two aren't probably as useful as these two, but there's an option. The sorcery is an interesting one for cooldown and for damage, because Riven scales really nicely with damage, and early game your tank, late game you want to build some damage because all of Riven's scales are AD, so you probably go these two. There is also Inspiration, which guarantees the 5% straight away, which is definitely a must, as well as an option of these. And most of these make sense. This one not so much, so ignore that. Free boots, commencing stopwatch, biscuits. This one's not so useful. Futures market. I'm thinking about this. So these are the runes that I personally would choose for Riven support. To the point, more scaling than anything else. Riven's lane phase actually, as a support, is pretty dang powerful. Especially with the aftershock. You're pretty tanky at the start, so you don't really need any damage. So that's a bonus. So these are the runes that I think Riven support would benefit from, for various reasons. The only one I could swap out is Gathering Storm. If you're against an AP user, go Nullifying Orb instead. But I think personally Gathering Storm is the better choice here. Again, this depends on how good the game goes. And we'll get onto that with the items. So I've already taken the liberty of creating a page for this. Starting items as you expect: Relic Shield, Health Potion, Warding Trinket. Standard start really. The only other thing is you could go coin, but you get the useless mana coin if you start with coin. This item, starting with coin, not so good, because you don't have mana. I didn't read this though. 28 gold instead. So that's actually pretty useful. So it is an option. It also gives straight CDR, but this one gives you tanky, and the tankiness stats better. So the early items here are a bit flexible. I've put it as these because I thought these would be the best. Targons for obvious reasons. I do need to add another thing there. There we go, just realised. Ignore that. Targon's pretty obvious, upgrade your item, place wards, etc. Boots, again, pretty obvious. Why are we choosing the boots? All champions need them. These two are the flexible bit comes in, because it depends on these. So, I've gone these two because they are the cheapest CDR items that I could think of to get the early 20% CDR, which most Riven mains love. Most Riven mains at top lane get these items. Early 20%, AD, health. Stats you need. This is where the essential items come into a bit of a weird flair. Health's good for tanks. Damage is what makes Riven tanky in general. Her E scales from AD, her damage scales from AD. Late items, really useful. Which leads into the essential items. Obviously upgrade boots. I choose one of the tanky boots. There's the option of any of these, except that obviously. Ionian's an option as well, but you tend to get 40% CDR or more, so you could actually go that. MOBAs are an option too. They're not. So it's basically tank, lucidity, MOBAs. They're the choices. I put Black Cleaver here because I personally think that this style of item is the best theme for Riven. Your health, damage, CDR. Pretty important stuff on Riven. Increase the CDR to 20% instead of 10% because it uses the Kindle gem. And gives her the similar thing to Misfortune support, which was reducing armor by 4% for each physical damage to cleave them. Shreds armor. Great against tank comps. Again, I put it in essential. It probably isn't as essential, but it's the item I tend to like to rush on any AD bruiser support. This leads into the offensive items and defensive items. This is where Riven splits into two different trees. There's the bruiser, there's the tank. You can mix them together as well, but you put a bit of a weird one. I'm going to start with the defense items because this is where some difference comes in. So in defensive items, I've gone for Knight's Vow. Pretty obvious tank item. Really useful if your supports, if your AD carry. Heals them if need be. Well, no, heals you. Redirects damage from them to you. More armor, more movement speed if nearby. Pretty useful item. Cheap as well. Nice. Zeke's Convergence. The only useless stat on this is the mana, which is a bit of a shame. But you get the Frost Field, you get the burn, you get the magic damage from the burn, the slow. It's a really useful thing because you choose when to ult and to go in with it. it's one of the it's one of those things where Riven ults to engage, so I think that's really useful. Block it for obvious reasons. Stone plate, get yourself tankier. You don't really do damage with this item, so this is more if you're going to CC heavy. Redemption increases your own shield, but also gives you a heal. This one's a hit and miss item. I've only put this there because someone always ranted to me about heals. Another option is actually Righteous Glory, if you've got Glacial Augment especially. This is where Riven's offensive items are probably better, especially this one, Sterox Gauge. Tank item, Bruiser item, health, AD, shield, great. Death Dance is a naturally Riven item, heal, kind of a counterpart to Relic. Multiple reminder, obvious reasons, armor pen, reduced healing, more shield, tank item in a weird way, doesn't stack though with Sterox, sadly, and Mercurial, because if you build QSS you need something to build into. I don't think this build's that good. I am looking to improve it, but it's here as a theory. The thing I want to improve the most are the items. The thing is, I've not looked at the most recent items, so things like, where is it? The new one. Hang on, what is it? What is it? Things like Spirus Shojin. Oops. Oh my god, I'm useless. There it is. Things like this. This is incorporated into the build. It actually would be pretty decent, so I'm going to add that already. So there's tons of items here that could be added to the build, like Guardian Angel, like, that's not here. So there's plenty of room to experiment with this. Definitely that. Why am I not adding these things? What is up with me? So it's a work in progress, but it's what I look forward to doing. So yeah, this is an idea for Riven support. It's obviously a very big work in progress. So yeah, hooray! This is the next in practice as well. It's the thing I like picking now and then. Actually, when I do pick it, it works really well. When I lose, I still have a decent score, which sounds really selfish. I shouldn't be focused on the score, but it's what happens. So yeah, fingers crossed. The game will be good.